One of these days, I'll have to let the entire thing roll.
Yeah,
You know?
I dig it.
Yeah, everybody just hears the intro of that song.
I dig it.
But anyway, hey everybody, welcome to This Pink Cloud Season 2, Episode 30.
Hey.
Yay.
30.
Yeah.
Dirty 30.
There you go. Exactly. And happy Friday the 13th, everybody.
Ooh, spooky vibes.
Dude, anybody got a little trescadicophobia in here?
Oh, isn't that the holes?
No, trescadicophobia is the fear of number 13.
Oh,
What?
Yes, trescadicophobia. Look it up.
Say it slower.
Trescadicophobia.
Okay, just making sure that was in there.
Trescadicophobia is
Okay.
the fear of
Cool.
13. Look it up, man.
I just learned something.
I swear, dude, dropping that knowledge
That
already. Dude.
those knowledge nuggets over here from
That's
Kelly
right, dude.
Reverb.
Random stuff. Hey, there is also a fear of glitter too. I used to have a guy that co-hosted the show with me, Nolan.
Yeah.
And he had a fear of glitter, and that is called sparklophobia.
What the?
And so I just started calling him Sparkles.
Do you
Yeah.
think that was
Yeah.
born out of like some trauma? Like he got caught
Oh, it was
having
no,
gone
it
to a
was
strip club?
it was
and,
full,
like,
no, it was full on childhood trauma.
Oh,
His
man.
dad told him that, hey, if you get glitter in your eye, you could lose your eye because it's like, shards of glass that can cut your eye and you can lose your eye. And he just told it to him. Oh, hey, yeah, by the way, just be careful around the glitter, blah, blah, blah. But then as a grown adult, he is just steering clear.
Well, I
of
mean,
glitter.
my girlfriend hates glitter too. She's like an artist, right? And she's
Right.
like, glitter is the herpes of art products.
It is, dude.
Like-
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's bad news. It can be bad news.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, by the way, we're actually doing a show here.
I'll say sorry about our tangent there
yeah,
about
right.
glitter.
I am DJ Kelly Reverb. With me today is Dylan Kingston from Skate Straight, E-Dub Skate Co., and soon to be Smart Recovery Facilitator.
Ooh,
And we
right
were
there.
thinking Jamaican rap star maybe with the name Dylan Kingston.
The hot fire. I spit
Yeah.
it. What's up, guys?
Yeah. And then with me today, a.k.a. Mr. Incredible here. But Josh W. Jordon from Brazos Recovery, Cardinal House, soon to be new dad of a genetically superior child.
What?
Right,
Whoa.
right.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, hey, you and
Well,
your
you're not
wife
wrong,
are,
yeah.
yeah, but the kid's got a leg up,
Cool.
And let's see. Oh, and
just
all
jinxed
around men of the people. So and just a good
The
dude.
people's champ.
He is, dude.
Oh,
I mean,
like
if I say
Stop.
Josh, if I say Josh Jordan, they go, oh yeah, I know that dude. He's a good guy.
Well,
So now tell us what a piece of shit you were.
I'll get
No,
into
I'm
that
just
for
kidding.
sure.
No, I'm just kidding. But
time.
but real quick, I always like to hit the sponsor at the top of the show. Real quick, we are brought to you by Summer Sky, which is in lovely Stephenville, Texas. That is www.summersky.us, and that is 888-857-8857. Once again, that is summersky.us, 888-857-8857. If you're looking for help, I got help there, and I got a year plus. I got a year and some change, baby. So, it worked for me, and it can work for you. And if not, it's a really expensive trip to Stephenville, Texas. But other than that, and then also, obviously, please follow us on YouTube because I will be putting original content just on the YouTube channel. And that, if you go to the URL, thispinkcloud.com, it will take you there and hit subscribe. And we have some fun stuff planned that y'all don't even know about.
I was about to
So
say, I'm not in the loop on this.
I have some fun stuff planned.
Wait, but first, so
Yes.
I just found out
Mm.
this is the first show that I subscribed to, and I
Right.
was telling Kelly before we started, you got to tell your viewers subscribing to a YouTube channel if you've never done it doesn't actually affect like notifications on your phone or anything. Like it's no skin.
Well, yeah, and
off
you
your-
can also do your settings.
Yeah,
You can customize
and you can
your
set
settings.
notifications if
Yeah.
you want, which is cool because then you're like in the loop about upcoming episodes and whatever else. But
Right.
I hit subscribe just to support, and
Has it hurt you?
Didn't hurt me one bit.
And
it was way easier than I thought.
Has it cost you anything financially?
I actually forgot that I had subscribed,
Yeah.
and then when I was watching last week's episode, I was like, "Oh yeah, I need to subscribe." Oh,
already
subscribed.
Yeah,
in there.
Nice. But and then of course, I don't know if you have the shirts pulled up, but these shirts are available, and they're going like hotcakes, kids.
Hotcakes.
Great shirts.
But yeah, the standard, this pink cloud one.
My fiance
then-
stole mine from me last week. Just BT dubs.
Oh, nice. Okay, and then there's we'll take care of that. We'll render that. Okay, and then there is no magic pill for sobriety. If there was, we would all take too many. And then we've got the rehab one, which all the girlies like because of the pink chair, and I think guys like it too.
It's my favorite.
Yeah,
of
is
yours.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and
I
you
wear it frequently.
You can get those actually on the YouTube channel. There's a link to the stickers, which you see nicely displayed here, and also a link to the shirts. But if you're not, you can just go to my DJ website, which is djkellyreverb.com/shop, and you're in there, and you're looking like a cool kid. Actually, these shirts are on there. The old Lone Star Classic. That's my record label.
Okay.
So anyway, now y'all know. Thanks for doing research on me, guys.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much celebrity you had. And then I see like Jeff on here last week talking about like, yeah, dude, I used to be at your show. I'm like, dude, who is this Kelly dude?
Yeah.
That's cool.
She's the hottest DJ. She's the hottest DJ in Dallas, man.
I know the legend. I don't need to research the myth, you know?
Hey, there we go, dude. There we go. I like it. Hey, so Dylan, I appreciate you last week getting candid with us.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you've avoided the street fentanyl since then.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, in case somebody wasn't watching, I went through a little bit of a relapse.
You had 18 months, which,
yeah.
Is
almost
cool.
19, yeah.
Right.
Which was my longest stint of sobriety. And then, yeah, I went through a little bit of a tough time, kind of went on autopilot mode and went back to what I know best. Luckily, I'm still here.
Right.
Since then, I haven't used. I've really dug in, went to a lot of meetings. I'm going to an ILP class, stuff like that. So we're doing good. We're feeling good. And I was told by someone that it just is about never quitting.
Yeah.
So if you fall down, you get back up, you keep going, whatever. So that's what I'm doing, man. And
right.
I'm just
that's a Dax Shepardism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that somebody told me that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah. And so yeah, man. But we're doing good. Yeah. Back in the groove of things.
Yeah.
But,
So I love it though, and I'm glad you reestablished because this side could use you. We can use a guy like you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, really. I mean, you're a good dude, and I'm sure you're a good dude when you're whacked out of your mind. But I like you alive.
I don't think you want to know me when
But I like you. I like you. I do like you better alive though,
Yeah.
and not getting Narcaned and
I appreciate
fun
that.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
we want
man.
you. We want you around for a long time.
It just, it proved to me that like, I probably have another relapse in me, but I don't I got lucky that I have this recovery, this other chance at recovery. Cause, if things would have went different, if I would have went home instead of being in my car or whatever the case may be, and nobody would have found me, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys. So
That's true.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
you would have just been another statistic, dude.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And
that sucks to even think about that.
yeah,
Kind of brings me down, dude.
yeah. Well, let's get back
But,
up.
yeah, but hey, so some positive stuff. You've got some cool stuff going on in the world of recovery, the Skate Straight Kurt Eichelberger style.
Yeah,
Skate
so,
Straight Dallas and Skate Straight Alliance.
Yeah, man. So we're just trying to really get this going, man. So like everybody doesn't fit into the norm of like everyday like recovery pathways, right? And so Skate Straight, what Kurt originally started it for is to be like an all-inclusive, like every pathway to recovery, and everybody is welcome, and it's not super religious or whatever your views may be, you'll fit in and there's a place for you there. I know the name is kind of deterring from that. It sounds like you kind of have to be skateboarding.
or you can't, hey man, no homos, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? but that's not the case.
That is not the case.
Yeah,
we have transgender there.
Dude,
and,
there's people.
It's a very,
yeah.
it's a cornucopia.
Yeah, it's people of all walks of life and everything, and there's so many different. We do recovery dharma. We do. There's people that do NA, AA. There's people that do just smart recovery. It's all inclusive.
Yeah, it's just like another tool to put in your toolbox.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And it's like, and the reason why I like it so much is because I've grown up a skateboarder my whole entire life, and that too sees no boundaries. Everyone skateboards. There's people that skateboard in the desert on the dirt. It's just like it doesn't see color or religion or any of that stuff. And it's cool. So we've got a website. If you're interested in checking us out, you can go to skatestraightrecovery.org and check it out. It's got all our meeting times. It's got a shop for merch. It's got things for us, just like upcoming events. It's a way to get in contact with someone, our mission statement, all that stuff. Kurt's running that, and it's really, really cool, man. We're hoping to get a lot of stuff going, and then I'm going to peg we have meetings in Dallas, but the one I really want to focus on is Wednesday night at Alliance in Grand Prairie.
And that is a skate park.
Yes.
Alliance Skate Park.
Alliance Skate Park.
Right.
It's at Lone Star Park. Starts at 7. We do a meeting for an hour, and then we skate or just hang out or whatever.
And even if you don't skate,
yeah,
go.
Absolutely.
Kurt actually says like it's like an aisle of misfit toys. You
Yeah,
know? It's just kind of like, and it's cool to just kind of be around people that skate because I'm like I don't like the falling part.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool to watch people, and you don't have to skate at all.
Yeah. Sometimes
you just have to want a little brand of recovery that might be a little non-traditional.
Yeah, and if you don't want to come like to a meeting, Labor Day, we're doing a cookout at Alliance, and you could just come hang out with the Skate Straight family and meet everybody, and it's just going to be a hangout. There's no meeting or anything like that, but we're going to be cooking good food and stuff like that, so you can come get introduced to everybody and kind of dip your toe in the water and see how you feel about it.
Right.
So that's my spiel. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay, see ya. I know we almost lost Josh over there. Josh was like listening.
Oh no,
to
I was
you,
getting on the
and he
website.
started getting on the
Did you
load.
forget?
You saw Kurt made me the poster boy. That's me with short hair 8 months
load.
ago.
It wouldn't load.
Okay. Yeah, and I told Kurt, I was like,
by the way, I like your current look better, dude. The fuzzy, fuzzy Dylan works much better than the unfuzzy. Yeah.
Oh wow.
that was 8 months ago.
You
Where's
can't
the
get. You
camera?
got it right. It's right here, bud. Hey, Josh.
Can you-
Yeah. There it is. Yeah, you can kind of see it.
It's okay. Everybody just go check it out.
Yeah, get on the
anyway.
website. It's
There you
cool.
go.
It
You see
is.
Dylan skating.
So speaking of that, you were on with and I love this Ricky Vasquez. Yes, dude, that tall drink of Latino water.
Well, tall.
Yeah,
it was like
maybe
Topo
tasty
Chico.
drink,
yeah,
Topo
tasty
Chico.
drink. Yes, tasty drink. There we go. And y'all were talking about your involvement with Cardinal House and what y'all do. But, I feel like I kind of shortchanged you because, you have this real good Matthew McConaughey vibe where I just kind of get sucked into your story, and I kind of want to start hearing it. And it just gets, it gets to be story time with Josh. And it's something that I wanted to go into, but then it seems like, we kind of cut you short. That being said, thanks for coming out, and I want to hear some fascinating stuff about you and what your beautiful tapestry and journey looked like to get to this point.
Okay.
To get to being the human that you are now.
To be fair, there's much more interesting things have happened since July 12th of 2014 when I got sober.
Right.
But there are some, chaotic, tragic, and even humorous things that happened before.
Sure, dude.
So
Let's hear it all. We've
dig
got,
in.
let's see, we started on time, so we've got, set your time. Give me about 10 minutes to close it up at the end. So you've got a solid 30 minutes to vent, dude.
Okay.
And it's all you, dude, and it better be good, dude.
Please interrupt at any point
Oh,
in
yeah,
time.
we will
It'd be
interject.
cool if this were like a discussion.
Yeah, no.
too.
We'll make it discussion-y.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm an Okie. I'm from Oklahoma, born and raised.
Okay, sorry.
I won't
Yeah.
fault you.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody in
Thank
Texas.
you,
is
Dylan. All
like, dude,
right.
I'm a proud Texan now. Okay. It's been 7 years.
Well, I
think
mean,
that's
okay,
long
so you
enough.
figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, I mean, I came to Texas to get sober and just like never went back.
Right.
But so I started drinking when I was, I had my first drunk when I was 14.
Okay.
Well, we can back up a little further than that. So I was adopted at like a year and a half old.
Okay.
Did not make me a drug addict or an alcoholic.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Parents got divorced. Also didn't make me a drug addict or an alcoholic. Was this like rageful, violent thief of a child. Did not.
Oh, are
make
we just
me
talking? Are we talking?
right.
Are we talking candy bars or what?
Oh
what
no,
are we talking
like
about?
I remember I would like get caught like trading like my Game Boy Pokemon games for like jewelry that my friends would steal from their parents at school.
All right,
And
dude.
then,
So
like,
you had a little fencing operation going on,
yeah.
a little jewelry chop shop.
I would cry to mom, I need the new video game, and then I would go and try and like trade it for something more. And I'm not like that.
and then what would you do with that money? Just
No, I would have the jewelry. I remember I
Yeah.
had this big gold ring,
Uh-huh.
and like that was what I got caught with. And you know, it's like, what? How do you have this?
Well, you found
It's
it,
the whole
right?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm not good at any of these things I was
Okay.
doing, right?
All
I
right.
have a knack for getting caught. and
All
just
right.
getting in
Well, no,
trouble.
but I mean, I find that fascinating already that you were fencing jewelry as a young child.
Yeah, as
Well,
an
or
adolescent.
Pokemon.
The part that stood out was like biting kids and stabbing them with pencils and like stuff like
Oh,
that, like
okay.
first and second
Young
grade.
little-
You were that
Really
kid.
Dude,
yeah,
was it
dude, not cool?
Was it a husky pencil, dude,
Well,
or are we
Dude reaches into
talking
my pencil box,
number 2?
and I just slammed my hand down on it,
Yeah.
smashed his finger, and then the tip of my pencil went into his hand. It was not like all the way through. We were
Sure,
children, right?
sure.
But
Right,
anyway.
He didn't have the brute strength that he has now.
Right, I know, dude. That sucker would go. Dude, imagine a husky, dude. You'd just be impaled.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. So, and I'd spent some time in like anger management counseling through the school.
As a kid
yeah,
already.
yeah.
Okay.
And they were like teaching me, breathing techniques on like how to not react. in
I'm sure
anger.
that's going over well with a 7 to 8 year old, right?
I mean,
Is that
yeah,
about how old you are?
breathe and you count to 10, and then you don't do whatever your brain told you to do first.
Okay.
And,
Keep it
you know,
simple. Yeah. I got you.
down the road there would be, yet again,
Sure.
here's this idea, but
Right.
Yeah. So then moving into high school, 14, Grand Lake, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
July 4th, I get drunk on Smirnoff Ice, grape flavored,
Yes.
Yeah.
for the first time ever. And it was a
Hell
great
yeah.
time,
Yeah,
right?
Sugar
Like
rush.
I don't think as a teenager, like getting really fucked up, like I
Right.
don't think that makes you
Well,
anything.
and I think that's probably malt liquor as well. So, dude, malt liquor does it every time.
Does it?
Dude, malt liquor is a totally different drunk. Than,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a great
just
time.
So you know, yeah,
It
of
was a
course.
lot of
Well, you
fun.
were 14.
Mm.
So, yeah.
And then it was just kind of on and off throughout like high school, but towards the end of high school, I really tried to start taking things seriously. Like I was in marching band, and I was a pretty good trumpet player because I
Really?
like tried really hard at it.
We
and-
share that common bond.
Really?
I was a trumpet player as well, and I was in symphonic band early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like on the fast. I was on the fast path to being a nerd, dude.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
No
once
musical talent
once
over
once it got to marching band, then I was like, oh, you got to wear the outfit. Yeah, and I looked at
Really?
the crop of the ladies, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so
He found
sorry.
out. He found out that he could transfer his musical talents into DJing,
yeah.
and the ladies come half
Yeah,
clothes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that
There
was
you
where
go.
the ticket was.
Like, what
Yeah,
I've been
and there-
wasting my time.
Exactly.
fuck this
dude.
trumpet.
Right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that was the end of high school, and then kind of like walking out of high school, things just fell off. And like there were circumstances and like experiences that I had that I just wasn't like equipped to handle.
Did
right.
you graduate high school?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like fairly studious, right?
Right.
Like I wasn't failing out of
When
high
you
school
weren't
or
stabbing
anything.
people with pencils.
We were well past
Right.
that. We were just starting to develop this like desire to experience every drug and form of intoxication that was
Okay.
available.
All
That
right.
was,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like the aim. But there was also like go to college and like be successful and graduate college
There
and
is
do well
that-
in life.
There is that path.
Those were
yeah.
important at the time.
Sure.
You're kind of at that age where you're just like you want to try and put your feelers out to everything, and that looks like good, bad, and indifferent.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Sure.
And I did my best to. My grandma passed away, my dad's mom, and like when I was adopted, I always seemed to gravitate towards like the oldest woman in the room, and I don't know why. Like a bunch of pictures of me and my mom's mom or my great grandma or my dad's mom, just like always hanging out with them. And my whole life, she was just like this like perfect, person.
Yeah.
And the way that she passed wasn't graceful, and it wasn't pretty, and it was like really painful for her. And there was an instant where like I stopped believing in like everything having purpose. Like we walk into this hospital or like assisted living type deal, and she's screaming and crying in pain, and we're walking down the hall. I'm with my dad and my stepmom,
and what are you, about 18, 19?
No, I think I would have been like 16.
16. Okay. All right.
I think.
Okay.
And anyways, we walk in and she's like asking God to like stop her pain, right?
Yeah.
And she's had a stroke and she's been battling this rehab process. And anyways, my dad kind of like moves me out of the room because he's like, you're in the way, and like this isn't something you need to see,
Sure,
and,
trying to protect you.
Instead of like going down the hall, I just stood outside the door and like fell to the floor and just started bawling, crying. I was like, God isn't real if he's willing to let this happen to this person, know?
Yeah.
And then everything went dark, right? And not in that I didn't want to still go to college and like have aspirations, but like
it's like
there's a little less magic to everything.
Yeah, you lost your faith, or your faith in that higher power, as they say. So I get it.
And like my experience with recovery and like the pathway to it that I was handed, by the time that I got to where I'm getting sober, it didn't matter how this allergic reaction to alcohol and drugs had developed. The point was now that like this is what you have and this is what needs treated before anything else can be put on the table. And so while that may have started my kind of like twisted perception of life, it certainly wasn't causal to alcoholism, right? Because I know and have worked with lots of alcoholics and addicts who don't have any experiences. Last time I was on, you made mention of like all these pathways are about treating the trauma that started this whole thing. And
I said that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Not my experience, right? But that was one thing for me that like set in motion a lack of interest to like participate in life.
Well, I think also too, like that being said, some people are genetically predispositioned to have an addiction or whatever. And some people, it's a learned behavior to put away emotional response.
It's like cancer. If it runs in your family, there's a likelihood, and they always go, "Oh, well, do you have do you come from a line of alcoholics?" Well, yes, I do.
And then even if you don't have that predisposition, it's a learned behavior to push down those emotional responses, right? Because it's
how you learn.
In my experience, I was trying to hide my emotion. I didn't want to feel things, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I think there's multiple, like you said, there's multiple different pathways to get to that.
Yeah. And strangely enough, like there's some literature that somebody handed me, and I try not to like be a representative of any particular fellowship because I'm a poor example at times, right? But like I got sober in 12-step recovery, and I read through the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and inside of it, they're talking about like our description of alcoholism. They talk about the problem as we see it. And so like by the time I get here, I'm being read this book, and this guy's talking to me about whether or not these first few pages are true for me. And then we're digging real deep into the rest of it, and it's like, hey, like we're literally just talking about like while we're in this space, right? Like deciding if somebody needs to do this or not, is in need of this spiritual experience or not. We're going to describe in detail like what we think the problem looks like for us, and that's it, right? Like there's a whole world of substance use disorder and alcoholism, and like we can all mean kind of different things when really it's like my use of drugs and alcohol are a problem for me. And then that can have all sorts of different manifestations.
Sure.
Right.
I agree. Well, let's hear some of those manifestations.
Yeah. All right. So we get out of high school. We'll kind of hurry up. We'll get towards the first.
No rush, yeah.
Well, the real exciting stuff is like right before, getting sober and such.
Okay.
So, Go to college.
Your grandmother had passed away.
Yeah.
You're 16, 17.
Yeah.
And then from there, you go to you after you graduate high school,
Yeah.
then you
Go to college. University of Oklahoma.
Okay.
Make it one whole semester.
Nice.
Not really, because like
Yeah.
I wasn't going to a lot of classes,
Right.
or I was on academic
I love
probation,
that about college.
Yeah.
I found that out very quickly. Oh, they don't care if you don't show up. Dude.
Well, I mean, you're paying, and it's like,
yeah.
here's
Well,
all these
your
loans.
parents are paying, or you're paying, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
They help for sure.
I'm not gonna get suspended.
Yeah. Wow, I just said they help, but then like in hindsight, even the loans I got, like they
Yeah.
paid off, like
Yeah.
in the midst of my,
Right.
consequences. But anyway, so in college, I'm just probably smoking weed. I found Oxycontin because I was tripping acid one night, and I had to be up at a certain time, and here we are on acid. I've never been on acid, and like you're inclined to stay up and not sleep very well.
Sure.
And we're like, I think it's coming up on like 3 a.m. and I'm like, wait. The night should be over. I got to get to sleep.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, dude, you're probably not going to do that. I was like, does anyone have anything to help me sleep? Out comes this big ass white bag of like pure Oxycontin powder and this rail. I'm like, what's this? Oh, I asked what this was after I snorted it.
You just went in first.
My life changed, dude. Like nothing had ever done for me what opiates did for me in that
Okay,
moment.
what was that rail? Was that heroin or was that
Oxycontin.
yeah. So you snorted Oxycontin. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was fantastic.
Okay.
I loved it.
All right.
Yeah.
You got it.
My palms are sweating over here. Like no.
Hold on, we don't want to trigger anybody.
No, it's
here.
fine. It's
Yeah.
fine, but like that's your body as an opiate addict. That's your body's emotional response to that stuff. You hear that stuff, and it like no matter how far removed from it you have.
Yeah, your body.
My brain knows that when he says that, my brain likes that shit.
Your body out goes delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, strangely enough, like
Yeah.
I would later find out what like shooting up cocaine felt like.
Okay.
And I developed a habit of like only shooting enough cocaine to where I would like throw up and then fall onto the floor.
Okay.
And now when I hear people talk about like injecting a stimulant, it makes me nauseous. I'm
Oh,
7
really?
years
Wow.
sober, right?
Wow,
like I'm
wow.
just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And that was the goal, right? Throwing up and falling over. If that didn't
Okay.
happen, it wasn't enough.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So anyways, we discover opiates, right? And I don't know if I just didn't know or I'd forgotten or whatever, but like I'm like, well, I'm gonna do this every day. This weed thing's been cool and drinking's okay, I guess, but like I'm doing this every day.
But this is like next level.
This is
This
great.
is like
yeah,
right.
And if you do it enough, it's like gets you well, and you can go like live life like we are right now, just
Mm-hmm.
like high as hell,
Oh, yeah.
Unlike being drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, I guess people do develop an ability to drink all day and still participate, but.
Hi.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Looking at you, I was like, "Oh shit, that's
Right.
probably what Kelly was
Yeah,
doing."
right.
Anyways, so I ran out, got sick, and was like, "Oh my gosh, I have the flu." Not like I'm withdrawing from opiates. Anyways,
Yeah.
Dude, same.
I was like, I didn't know what that was. I just knew that I was out.
Yeah.
I remember a friend like laughing at me. I was like, bro, I can't come hang out today, bro. I'm really sick. He's like, dude, you're not fucking sick. Like, not sick like that.
Yeah.
He's like, you're
You're
fucking. He's like,
dope
let's go
sick,
get some.
buddy.
You'll be fine.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I drive a few hours back home and like get well and
Get well.
well, it's
Yeah, sure.
We're
No,
quickly
yeah,
getting
but
away from having a good time. Very quickly
Yeah,
getting
so
away
you
from
had to.
having a good time.
I always say you have to right that ship, man, and that's the same thing with any addiction. Alcohol included, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially alcohol.
It was just a daily right the ship and
Yeah.
get into that lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you were
Well,
healing yourself through.
I then drop out of college,
Uh-huh.
right?
Right.
Mom gets a call. I'm on academic probation. We have a tough conversation about, what my life has really been looking like. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why. I was just like compelled to like tell them what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you just spilled the beans.
Well,
huh?
my sister tried to like write a letter confronting me about my cigarette smoking, and I was just like,
You don't
I
even
felt so
know,
much
girl.
guilt. That
Yeah.
thought was like, you don't even like.
Really? Cigarettes?
And that's kind of indicative of like where I ended up compared to like how I was raised. Everything that I ended up doing was like way more uncomfortable, right? The people I was with, the environments I was in, what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
When we start getting into like, large amounts of narcotics in the apartment, no running water, like all that kind of stuff. It's like, this isn't the life I'm used to at all.
How did you get
My
there
sister's
from
worried about me smoking cigarettes, bro.
Yeah, right.
So it's like quickly uncomfortable. And I got sober at 22, so it's kind of like, I think like my level of discomfort was so great in that lifestyle that it's like smaller consequences were bigger for me than they might have been for other people.
Right.
You know, there was more of like red flags and alarms going off around.
Sure.
So anyways, drop out of college, don't want to stop getting messed up. Mom and stepdad are like, hey, well, you know, we got your kids, sisters in the house. Like, you can't just do whatever you want here, so stop or leave. And I chose leave and would tell people for years that they kicked me out.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So I move in with a buddy, and we just start getting high every single day on everything. I try to break into a pharmacy.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I don't think, it's not that
Did you ever go
incriminating.
back and use your jewelry fencing skills?
No. I tried to be a drug dealer once.
Did you?
Yeah, nah.
How'd that go?
It doesn't work out if you're an addict.
Yeah,
Most of the time.
Self-governing.
It did not work.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just make enough to like.
Make enough to
for
support.
my own.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like, yeah, but you also need a job to pay for everything else. And
Yeah.
anyways, so after living with this guy for a while and like abusing him and like using him and mistreating him, and like we were close, right? Like we had a friendship, and we were both kind of like from the same upbringing, and like here we are in this environment, like, you know, shitty apartment, and well, it was probably nice enough when we moved into it, but by the time we got done beating the shit out of it, it was just like, dude, like, what are we doing? And so we were kind of like leaning on each other at times to like make plans on how to stop living the way we were, and just never could. Anyways, I left him high and dry, and I started shooting up heroin because OxyContin's expensive. When you don't have like a good plug anymore,
Right.
you gotta like figure some new things out, and heroin's cheaper.
Get creative. Yeah.
And at the time, like, there really wasn't a lot of like fentanyl rolling around. Like that's pretty
Yeah.
new. I mean,
By the way, kids, don't do street fentanyl, man. That stuff, you never know what you're getting, and especially K2 and all that stuff, dude. You never know what.
It's in everything.
Yeah.
Fentanyl's at Brazos, there's this guy, Richard, and like he's a badass, dude. He does like this harm reduction, like gets people Narcan and test strips to see if fentanyl's in their Xanax, like anything. And like he's this 12-step guy. Like,
is there fentanyl like in Pop-Tarts and shit?
well, they'll like they'll like home make pills, and they'll just
yeah.
like have it fentanyl in it, and some kid, you know, college kid's trying to do some Xanax or whatever, or an ecstasy.
little rat poison, little bug spray.
So Richard's going around to like trap houses and setting up places where people can come and get like clean, you know,
clean needles
and all that,
and
he's educating them and giving them.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
That
dude.
is cool.
Yeah.
But back to your story.
We started shooting heroin. I made it like a month shooting heroin before I'm like calling my mom, like, oh my God, you know, this is bad.
Right.
And she sends me to treatment for the first time, and I did like pretty good. It's 28-day place.
Was there Mexico involved in there?
We're almost there.
Oh, sweet. I can't wait.
Yeah, Kelly asked me to talk anything regarding Mexico.
I told him before the show.
Little did he know.
I go, anything regarding Mexico, let me know, dude.
Little did he know. Let's look at time. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna speed this up.
No,
so,
you got at least 10 minutes.
It's getting good.
Yeah. Okay.
So we go to treatment. You know, I'm meeting with a therapist. I'm like walking in there, and for some reason, pretty early on, some guy was like, you know, start praying, blah, 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 like God and everything, and all this stuff. And I was like, well, shit, I know what it means to be like spiritual, you know? Like I've watched people in my church when I was a kid, and like if I smile and do good to you, then that's it. Like that is the epitome of like being religious or spiritual, whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah.
God. And so I'm running around this treatment center with a smile on my face, like cleaning up plates and all this stuff. And like the truth was, like, I was never like confronted with the harsh reality of like, hey, when you get out of here, what if it's not just a matter of making better decisions? And at that point, it might have been, or at least it wouldn't have been an insane thought to think that I should make better decisions when I leave here, right? Because I didn't have a lot of experience trying to make that decision to stop and like change my environment and like start doing daily habits and whatever. And but so this girl walks in like halfway through my treatment stay, and then I spend the next few days trying to get her attention, and then I do, and then I'm high like inside of treatment.
Oh,
and
wow.
I ended up being high in all of the treatment centers I went to up until this last one.
Okay.
Like show up with some like firm resolve to like set my life straight, and then before I'm even leaving there, I have either stolen a van and went and gotten drugs for the other patients.
Well, I mean, you're
I've
a good
convinced
guy.
somebody to cheek their Suboxone, and if you're like days sober, like
Yeah.
completely clean, and you take more Suboxone than you take a bunch, that like you're gonna feel good, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm all for Matt, and if somebody needs that, I'm personally supportive. But like for me in that situation, that was about getting high, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, like that's my experience with treatment. Show up, mean well, want to do good, even like convince clinicians that I'm working with that I am doing good because I'm presenting well and whatever. So after a few of those treatment centers, what would keep happening is I'd get out of treatment, and what put me either in treatment or the hospital or broke or whatever, homeless, whatever, never actually like homeless.
Right, yeah.
Let's use that loosely.
Right.
It was never a beer, right? Like a beer never caused all those problems. It was shooting up heroin. So just have a beer, maybe just smoke a bowl or something.
Right, there you go.
And what would happen for me is
little California sober. Right.
what would happen for me is like it wouldn't be enough, right? In that
100%.
in that book that I read, there's this portion called The Doctor's Opinion, and he describes it as this elusive sensation, right? Like for me, and like I said, like the guy who took me through the 12 steps originally, he would like read this book page by page with me, and he would stop me like, is that true for you or not? And instead of him telling me like, oh, you're a death stage alcoholic addict and you need this or you're gonna die, like he was just like, hey, like let's give you the dignity of determining for yourself if you need what the rest of this book is going to tell you to do, because it's not easy, and it's a lot more than just showing up to as many meetings as you can get to and whatever. It was like you're going to have to do some work, and you might end up being uncomfortable with what some of that looks like. And so as we're reading through that, we're talking about this elusive sensation.
Speaking of that, I need to go to Mexico. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I would get out and I would try a beer, and the beer would feel almost as good as I thought. Like I even have this experience of being 21 and I'm at home with my mom and my stepdad, and like he drinks and like is successful and like manages that and like does not have the same reaction to alcohol as I do. And I was like, well, shit, why can't I? Right? Like just stop shooting dope and do that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to do that? Guy makes
Right.
money, provides for his family, has some beers when he wants to.
Right.
And so at 21, I convinced them like, well, let's try this out. And they bought into it. And I wasn't trying to manipulate. I believed this at the time. And so the plan was I'll drink when he drinks, right? He has a beer, I get to have a beer. So I
Okay.
spend all day waiting for him to get home from work. And he goes out and he gets a little Michelob Ultra from his garage
All right.
fridge.
Not
and
a bad
I
choice.
chase him out there and grab one. And
Right.
I suck mine down, and he nurses his while he helps my mom prepare dinner.
Right.
Right? And then I'm just like sitting there watching his can sweat. Like, come on, dude, let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
It's getting warm over here.
And so I go and I have another one whenever he has another. And so what's happening is I spent all day thinking that beer is going to feel so damn good. Right?
Obsessing over it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, I'm going to get to that too. And it just kept happening. Each of those beers felt almost as good as I thought the one before it was going to. And then in a matter of weeks later, I had gotten a job. So I'd gotten out of treatment. They let me move back in, and I had spent I don't know how many months like just reading Purpose-Driven Life and working out twice a day and going back to community college and getting a job, and they're helping me get a truck. And I met a girl. Like all these circumstances that I thought were causing this like discomfort inside of me. If I can just do all the things that a normal guy my age wants to do, right? Then I would feel okay. I wouldn't need to stick a needle in my arm, right? If I can fix my life, if I can rearrange my circumstances, I can rest some satisfaction and happiness. And it didn't work. So here we are trying this experiment, and at the end of the night, like being very dissatisfied. And so at some point in time, I'm at work and I start getting blackout drunk, and I spend X amount of days getting blackout drunk every day.
That old match system with your dad didn't work.
No.
Didn't work out.
And in the midst of one of my blackouts, I called a buddy who owed me money. He brought me, I guess, a bag and like his girlfriend's like used needle because he doesn't shoot up, but she does. And
Sweet.
so I do my thing.
It's a good friend right there.
And then all I remember is I'm at work. Next thing I remember, I'm waking up on the floor of my mom's house in the room that I was staying in, and my vision's blurred, and like I can't. My whole body's like pins and needles, and I'm hearing ringing, and I'm like, oh fuck. And
right.
anyways, we go to the hospital. They're like, you have your liver and kidneys have failed completely. We got to put you on dialysis. You're never gonna get better. You're gonna die in 10 years. And I'm like, oh, dude, I'm days after my 21st birthday, bro.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? And so I get put on dialysis. Within like a few treatments, the doctor's walking in talking about some guy upstairs is looking out for me. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm fucking invincible, dude. Right. I'm going to get high one more time before I leave the hospital, and then I'm going to set my life straight for real this time.
Okay, yeah.
Same buddy does the same thing, brings me whatever. I get high there, right? And again, set off this allergic reaction that I didn't yet know that I had. And when I get out, that's when Mexico gets involved. Like I'm going down to the methadone clinic because I told you I'm going to straighten my life up, but now I can't stop doing dope. At the methadone clinic, I meet some dude. He's like, hey, I know a guy, and the guy he knows is some dude who works for some cartel. This is all alleged. I don't.
Right.
It
yeah,
sounds.
Sure.
It's not the movie Blow, right?
Right.
It's sad and pathetic,
Right.
but. This guy's affiliated with some cartel, and there's a guy who's working for them running around Tulsa selling dope. And so, anyways, we somehow become friends with these guys. I do.
Yeah.
One of them ends up living in this apartment with me that my mom helped me get, right? And, like, I can't hardly pay the bills, but, like, he and I are just, like, living there, getting obliterated every day, right? And then I discover cocaine and shooting up heroin and cocaine, which is fantastic, right? Best feeling I've ever felt in my life. But I thought that I knew what a downward spiral looked like with just heroin. This is a whole new thing. Yeah. Oh, my God. Wow. And so this guy's like, bro, you're going way too far,
Dude,
right?
The cartel guy.
And like we built like a neat, like weird relationship, right? He's like showing me pictures of his kids. We're cutting each other's hair. Like it was weird, dude. Yeah. But like there was a closeness, and he's like, man, I'm worried about you. You got to stop.
Right.
So much so that he like leaves. I like rob him for like $4,000 worth of black tar heroin, and I'm like afraid for my life. And anyways. July 12th, 2014, it's my birthday, my 22nd birthday, and I had used everything I had up to that point thinking, like, somebody will hook it up. It's my birthday. Right. You know, I'll be able to get well for free. And that didn't happen. So I'm dumping my trash can over, butt naked, 140 pounds, sitting on the floor. I've been drinking whiskey to try and go to sleep. I've been up for like 3 days.
Sure.
And now I'm getting dope sick, and I'm trying to find dirty cottons in my trash can to try and get well. It's gross.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've heard people talk about it, but explain dirty cotton to those like people that might not know.
There's a ritual, right, to the preparation of like doing a shot of heroin, and like even though it's like foreign substance you're putting.
Trigger alert.
Well, you know, 10-step promises, but that's cool. Yeah. What would happen is there'd be all this like debris and like leftover heroin, all these little like balls of cotton, and I was sick, dude. Like.
Yeah. And I was like, that's kind of like scrounging for that cigarette. Seriously? Like when you're on like, you know, when you're out there and there's, you know, just cigarette picking one off the ground. Yeah. Cigarette butts.
Seriously. Yeah. So anyways, I have to go to work. I'm like this shift manager at this restaurant that I've stolen a bunch of money from. And,
right.
Anyways, I go to work, and I'm getting so sick, and I've got this Suboxone strip at the house, and I'm like, hey, I'll be right back. I live 10 minutes away. I try to go home. I fall asleep at the wheel of my truck, and I bounce into a median, and it was like on the side of the road there. Up to that point, like shooting up heroin fixed what my body needed, but no longer kept those feelings.
Right,
that
yeah.
Dylan had mentioned earlier. Like I would cry. I remember like crying, like envisioning my dad watching me, and I was bawling, crying, doing like one of my last shots of dope that I've ever done. Yeah. And just like bawling, crying, like this will get this vision away. And it didn't.
Yeah.
So anyways, I fall asleep. I wreck my truck. I call AAA. and they're on their way, and I'm just like sitting on the side of this highway. People are like, "Are you okay? You good?" Yeah, tow truck's coming. And all I did was pop a tire. I just didn't have the capacity to like change it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, nothing will ever change.
Yeah.
My life ever.
That sucks. That's a shitty feeling, huh?
It was the one I needed to have.
Yeah. No.
I call my mom. I'm like, hey, I'm done like making conditions on what treatment looks like. If you're willing, I'll do anything you tell me to do. And they sent me to this long-term place down in Austin, Texas. Well, half in Austin, half up here, and everything changed, right? And I am finally in that environment. This guy, Stephen Long, down in Austin, and he wouldn't mind me saying his full name. He came out and he was telling us this story about sitting down with his first sponsor, and this guy's like, hey, what do you want most in your entire life? And Stephen's like, I want my family to be happy. I want to be successful. I want, whatever, white picket fence and house and blah, blah, blah. And this old man's like, okay, so you got a shot of meth you can put in your neck, and every consequence you've ever had is going to happen, or you got all these things that you want and are after in life. Like, which one are you going to choose? And like Stephen was kind of mad about it. It's a stupid question. And as he's telling this, I'm like thinking, like acting as if he's asking me. I'm going to pick the happiness and success and people being proud of me and whatever. And the guy like laughs at him. It's like, well, why haven't you? And I'm sitting in the back of this room. I just start bawling, crying, right? Because up to this point, especially where, there's a ritual involved, the idea that I don't get to decide to pick up and drink or pick up and shoot, like, you're an idiot if you want me to believe that I don't get to make a choice. You're an idiot to try and convince me of that. And in that moment where Steven's telling his story, and again, like I'm a month sober, kicking methadone, cocaine, heroin, a little whiskey, whatever, I'm emotional, right?
Yeah,
Everything is like, but it hit me. Like, dude, like if you had a choice in any of this, you would have made it by now.
Yeah.
And so I started like reading that book a little closer and seeing that like when they're talking about like an obsession of the mind, they're not talking about my daily constant fixation, right? There's a whole chapter called More About Alcoholism, and they use 4 different stories. Each of those stories describes an individual who, while not thinking about picking up a drink, ends up getting drunk, right? In light of consequence and a decision to never drink again, they set out to try and do things differently, right? Because they met with these 2 guys that told them how desperate their situation might be, and they set out to never drink again. And then with an unprotected, sudden thought, they end up drunk, setting off an allergic reaction, and consequences happen.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, it's like, I don't have a warning sign anymore of when I might relapse, right? I'm not going to have a day of thinking about dope where I can call somebody or get to a meeting or whatever. A sudden and unprotected thought may occur, right? Where there will be nothing that keeps me from getting high. Right. That's a big deal. Yeah. And all of a sudden, there's a desperation that I had never had when I realized that that's what they're talking about when they say our description of alcoholism. Again, there's a world of alcoholism and addiction out there, but like while we're here, while we're talking about this book and like these meeting spaces, like this is what we mean when we're talking about it. Sure. And it was like, oh shit, I need a miracle, literally.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I set out to find.
Right.
Maybe I found it. I think I did.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've been sober, what, 5 years
7.
now? 7. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get it right, dude.
Shortchanging you, dude. Yeah. Hold on. I didn't write that down. Well, I know your sobriety date because it's same as mine.
Yep.
Just different year.
Different year.
Different year.
And it's funny, I was, buddy of mine was getting a tattoo the other day outside this tattoo shop. There's this girl, and she knows a common friend of mine, and she was talking about, like, the shame of, like, people relapse. And you talked about it last week. It's like, just because I relapsed doesn't negate, like, that I had spent time, like, trying to do something different. Dude. And, like, my approach to that, like, I wish so badly, like, I don't know why, unconsciously somebody tells me they're 20-something years sober, I'm inclined to listen a little closer to what they're saying. Sure. Yeah. But, like, I'll quickly disregard it if you said that, like, it's just about not drinking no matter what, one day at a time. Like, okay, well, then you and I are on different paths, and that's okay, and I'm proud of you. Yeah. And I hope your life has gotten better since you stopped drinking. But, like, we need different experiences, and that's cool. But I don't know why there's this, like, clinging to sobriety time is significant if it's an act of providence, right? If it is just a miracle, right? And I've got to do some work, right? I got to get clear on some things and start living spiritually. Right. But if it's a miracle, then why do I get to act like, oh, they made a bad decision? Now I'm going to treat them like they don't know anything.
Well, and my thing is like, you don't get mad when a bird tweets every morning. You know what I'm saying? I'm an addict. What I know to do is use.
Yeah.
The miracle is that I was sober for 18, 19 months, and just as quick as I got high, I was like, fuck, this is wrong. And my mind went back to that stuff I had trained myself on for 18 months and started over again. You know what I'm saying? That's the miracle, is that once someone is in recovery and they have those tools and they realize they made a mistake and then they go back to the right thing. That's the miracle.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? There shouldn't be a stigma about, like, if you get clean and sober and you stay sober and you never relapse, fucking kudos to you, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
But if you do, don't feel ashamed about it.
Yep.
Just fucking pull yourself back up and get back on the wagon. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Dude, my home group is the greatest meeting in the world.
Right.
Period. If you don't believe that about your home group, find a new one or clean it up. Right. But like in that space, I don't feel any of that. Right. Somebody reestablishes. We're going to clap. We're going to hug them. And then we're all going to go out to eat after.
Yeah.
We may or may not have a conversation about it, but like we don't all sit there and like,
and
well,
obsess over
sit
it.
back and hush up now, boy. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
bro, like,
You need to listen today.
Yeah, dude.
And
you're in the sober penalty box, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and don't
Because
get
you
me
had
wrong, right?
You
Like
had a
if,
slip.
if somebody's yet to like, if they're brand new, right? And like again, this is only about my personal belief based on something I read and people I know and whatever. How I was kind of brought up in this is like, the meetings aren't for me anymore, right? Like they were specific when they said like we meet regularly so that newcomers may find the fellowship they seek. Right? The meeting is about facilitation of, hey, if you need help, if you want some hope, if you don't know where else to go, come on in.
Yeah,
and like let's sit down and have a conversation.
Right, and that's why a lot of the people that 20 years, it's the whole service thing. So you know, I get that. You know, I mean, and that's really what this show is about. You know, it's all about, you know, taking it outside, taking it to the streets, baby.
Yeah.
If
You
we
know, or the internet.
Well, if we knew how to get right, we would have, like you said, if we had the choice in the beginning, we would have done it on our own. We need some suggestion. We need some direction. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about.
Right.
Man. It's like,
Hey, well, anybody that is out there looking for help, let me
Yeah.
get my sponsor in. Summer Sky is a great place to go out in Stephenville, Texas, and that is www.summersky.us, and their number is 888-857-8857, Stephenville, Texas. I got sober there. If you're looking for help, Patsy or Haikisha, I actually know the ladies that are in admissions out there, and they are very sweet and will help you out and guide you, you know, into the right path that works for you. Because that's what, you know, my wife called them. Because of course I wasn't going to call them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good place to go. Obviously, please like our YouTube channel, which is thispinkcloud.com. I know you've got probably a myriad of shout-outs. You've got the Brazos Recovery, which you are the marketing man for.
Yeah, they call it business development.
Oh,
But
or that.
Yeah. Brazos Recovery. It's a long-term residential treatment for men.
Lake Whitney area.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Morgan, well, I guess it's Lakeside Village, but Lakeside Village isn't big enough to like constitute being.
They
noticed.
don't
So
have enough.
Morgan,
street,
Texas is
street
fine. But,
cred to be called a town.
but yeah, it's this cool little place, and like it's 12-step immersion, man, like 12-step facilitation, and
Sure.
we're making some innovations clinically so that when guys walk in with some like trauma stuff, that they can be kind of met where they're at while still getting like the Brazos original experience, which is like 12-step immersion, right? Like our hope is that guys can have a spiritual experience, and then once they leave, they've even been introduced to what it feels like to be helpful to the new guys. So
Right, and then also you are still
Cardinal
working
House?
with the Cardinal House, correct?
Yeah, Ricky and me and a couple other guys opened it in 2017, and Ricky and I are still going strong with it. We got 3 houses, badass community of guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is great. So yeah, Ricky, shout out to Ricky, your heterosexual life partner, right?
Well, he's not so heterosexual.
Yeah, but
when he refers to us as partners, he then specifies that it's non-sexual,
Right.
which is cool. I
I
appreciate
got
that.
you. I got you.
At least for Chelsea's sake. Chelsea's mine.
Oh yeah, and
Baby
shout
mama
out,
and
shout out to
fiancé,
baby
yeah.
mama, and then the coming up
Little Lyle.
yeah.
She's like, don't tell people the name. Don't
Oh,
jinx it. I'm like, his name's going to be Lyle.
So there you go,
regardless.
Lyle W. Jordan.
Hell yeah.
Nice. And then Dylan, I know you want to give a shout out to all your people.
Yeah, I got, say hi to the fiance too as well, and the dog at home and all that good stuff. My
Skate Straight
people and
Yeah.
all that. E-Dubs got himself a new car today. We're pumped on that. He's gonna be moving about.
Right? Nice.
Look at Dakota.
Yeah.
Hey, and then
Oh,
I'm also putting Ricky on blast and challenging him
Okay.
because I still want that roving Ricky report that we
Yeah.
talked about, man. I'm
Dude.
just like, he's got a little
Stay
something
on
called procrastination going on.
We
dude.
share that,
Yeah.
he and I.
Yeah, well, I mean, don't we all?
Yeah.
To a certain degree. But, it's that whole fear thing and, also the whole work thing. But, I mean, honestly, that's a lot of this stuff, if you break it down.
Daffodil.
What the hell are you
That's your dog's
showing your
name?
dog?
Daffodil.
Oh, what a cute doggy. Nice.
Kelly, thanks for having us on.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
so
I
we always love
appreciate
being
you
here.
dudes
Yeah.
coming on. Next week, I actually have Mr. Dusty Burrows coming on. And it will be with Amanda, and she is actually a LPC,
Okay.
but she has a heavy involvement in Al-Anon.
Okay.
So we're gonna bring the
Yeah.
other side of the thing where she wasn't an addict herself,
Yeah.
but grew up around it and was a part of it.
Yeah.
But it's so funny how people can go, oh well, I'm not the addict, so I'm good. But it's really, it teaches you how to deal with that person that means so much to you in your life.
That's
you know?
awesome.
So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's really important. Really
So
important.
that's going to be an interesting show, and hopefully some people will learn from it and check that out. But if anybody has any ideas for the show or wants to be a guest, always hit me up so I can say no. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and
no,
then hit me up afterwards, and I'll tell you yes.
there you go. But no. Definitely hit me up if you've got a good story you want to get on the air and tell. Always, I've also got. I'm talking to a guy from the 24-Hour Club.
Who?
Gonna have him on.
Joe?
No.
Tim?
Yes.
I know Tim.
Tim, we
love
are
that
in
place
discussions. I will
so
probably
much.
see him tonight at the old DAA meeting.
Yeah?
Yeah. You should make it down there, buddy.
Where's it at?
It's in like Lake Highlands area.
Dude, DA, those guys are serious.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a
No.
Rule 62, like don't take it so seriously. I'm just teasing.
I
just
got
might.
you. But and then also you can catch Dylan. Dude, I feel like I've been a little separation anxiety because on Saturdays I can't really go to Skate Straight anymore because of the whole I have to sleep at some point.
Yeah, and man, and I feel bad too. I haven't been in a couple, and things keep coming up on like last Saturday. Grandma's birthday. This Saturday is Mom's birthday. So we're
Right.
but life happens, and so
Right. We're there in spirit.
yeah.
Right. But anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up for this week. I appreciate you dudes coming out. It's always nice and fun when you can just hang out with your friends and talk for an hour.
Hell yeah.
But definitely have you guys back on at some point. And remember, kids, there is no magic pill for sobriety because if there was, we would all take too many.
Drop the bomb.